Well, hello, friends. It is Monday, and I challenge you to find a more beautiful backdrop and setting. This is not computer generated. This is not a green screen back here.
No.
This is Nora Sophia, and she is not computer generated either. She's real, but we are downtown here in San Antonio, and this is another episode of Pickup Lines presented by Gamez Law Firm and Integrity Roofing and Siding. I'm your humble host, Ernie Zuniga, along for another episode here, and let me just start out with a confession. By the way, thanks for being here. Welcome into the Lexus RZ 450E.
Dun, 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 dun. And it's a lovely car. Palomino suits me.
Yes, I see that. Yes, exactly. So, in time for the rodeo. It's just about.
Yes.
So, let me just start off with a little truth nugget.
Okay.
Nora and I met for the first time ever, less than a week ago?
Less than a week ago.
And it's one of those conversations. So I was on the air in San Antonio for 22, 23 years doing news and sports. And I've interviewed thousands of people.
Thousands.
Literally, I'm not exaggerating. And you would think over the course of time, I kind of feel like, I know a few people.
Yes.
You know, like you meet people, I know a few people. Then you run into somebody like Nora and you realize, I know nobody. Like, Nora knows a lot of people. And so we'll get to that here in just a little bit. But, there's a lot going on with you in a good way.
Yes.
But let's kind of go back to where it all started once upon a time. I know you were telling me you went to South San High School.
Go Bobcats.
So you are we got a Bobcat in the house here.
Yay.
But young Nora growing up,
Yes.
where did that happen? What was that like for you?
So, I grew up obviously on the south side. My parents are still in the same house they brought us all home from the hospital in. I am a Knicks baby.
What?
I have people going
Knicks
to the
Hospital.
Knicks, baby.
Okay.
Shout out to the Knicks. They're now apartments, I think. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
So, yes. So, and this is a fun fact we didn't talk about. He's going to be surprised now.
Wait a minute.
I know. I'm sharing it live.
Okay. We didn't rehearse this.
When I was in kindergarten, my first day, I was so precocious, and I apparently was sick. So I went up to my teacher and I said, "Are you the adult who's going to be taking care of me for 8 hours a day?" And she said, "Yes, I am." And I said, "Okay, then here is my medicine. It's called amoxicillin, and I will need it twice a day in your care." And so she said, "We need to test her, like to be with the special people." And so they did. And so I was seriously, I don't even remember the test, to be quite honest, but they separated us, and I was a part of this class. We ended up staying together all through senior year, and we were different.
Wait, amoxicillin is for what?
Like a colder, I don't know what it was. I don't know. It was the pink medicine that was yummy.
Okay. Not Pepto-Bismol.
No.
It's the other pink medicine. Okay, so you go through all that. You grew up on the south side. I would, that house where your parents are, I can only imagine if that house could talk, like some of the things I've seen over the years.
You know what's crazy to me is that there were 5 of us. I'm the youngest of 5 right now.
Yes.
My oldest brother is 16 years older than me. We had 1.5 bathrooms. How in the world?
How many girls in the house?
3.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know how they did it, except,
1.5
you know what I remember? My father had a schedule, because he was a military guy, which is where I get my discipline from. And he had a schedule, like, for who got to take a shower first that day.
Really?
Yeah.
And how did he pick? Was it by age or just by
I don't know.
whoever
think that
wasn't in the doghouse that day?
He probably had to, he had 1 through 5. Okay, the birth order thing.
And you're not taking a long shower or anything.
God, no, not with
rinse,
Dad.
in and out.
Which to this day, right? And my father would leave notes everywhere, like, "Don't touch the AC, Dad," whatever it was, everywhere, notes everywhere. And so I'm very regimented still to this day. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you need to touch the AC here, just let me know. I'm not that
freedom.
I'm not that regimented, but super. And your parents are still around?
They're still around, 91 years old, and my father still mows the yard. My mother is still cooking, making tamales every Christmas. It's so much fun, and every night at their house is a party. Every night.
I like the smells.
Oh man, garlic for sure. Sopa de fideo, it's all the good things.
Let me know in December what the date is
There
when you
you
guys
go.
are making, and I'll stop by. I'll
There
bring
you
I'll
go.
bring a side dish or something.
I love it.
Okay, so you're growing up. You go to South San and everything. And what did you want to, what do I want to be when I grow up? Like those conversations when you were little, what did that look like?
Oh, man. I wanted to be an attorney as a child.
Okay.
I wanted to be an attorney because I wanted to fight and be an advocate for people. And I've always loved people, Ernie. Like, I've always seen...
You still do.
Yes. And it's just like, I want people to know the magic in them when they've forgotten. That's like my whole thing.
And so, and we'll get to how what you've just said kind of ties into what you're doing right now. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, if I were to look... And you have your own website, by the way. People can go on and your website is your name. It's Nora Sophia, Sophia, norasophia.com. Yeah. You have a book that's coming out.
I do.
And like soon, like this month.
Like this month, yeah. But it's fun, but all of the good, right, as we define it, can't be there without the bad.
Yeah.
And so I think all of us have to be able to accept all of life. And that's what we've been kind of discussing.
Yeah, and I know you indicated when we talked the other day, I mean, you went through some stuff as a young girl growing up, and other people could have been completely defeated by that and been in a terrible place right now. That obviously didn't turn out for you. Yeah. How were you able to kind of overcome that, or did you have people to help you at the time, or what was that like?
Well, I think that at the time that it's unfolding, you can't know how you're going to get through it. And so just for everybody's sake, because for me, I think when we have the vulnerability to tell our story is when people also receive freedom in hearing it, right? And healing. And so for me, I was raped when I was in high school. Having had that experience, I ended up homeless on the streets for a season, probably a year and a half. And so you just have to, one, learn to survive. You learn what's important, and you learn, really, it's why I wore this grateful heart, because you learn how to wake and be thankful for the step, right, that you slept on, for the knowing which dumpsters to forage in. You have to know the hierarchy on the streets even. But And seemingly, for most people, these seem like really challenging things, and they are. I'm not taking anything from that, and I am not Pollyanna. I get accused of that a lot.
No.
But you learn how to survive is the best way to say it, and you learn gratitude. You do.
So you're a teenage girl in the south side of San Antonio, homeless. I just can't even imagine. And obviously, having dealt with that horrific sexual assault and what happened to you, and you told me the other day something about the step, that to this day, is that right? That when you're going around downtown or you see a step or something that triggers a memory for you as a teenager.
It does. And especially when I think I'm really stressed and I don't sleep well, I can sometimes have night terrors waking up, saying that was my step and somebody took your step. Because to find a place that's comfortable, right, as comfortable as and that's all defined, right, by the level of comfort, which you have I have so much empathy when I see, especially when it's cold, these folks that are, and everybody's out here for a different reason, right? There's so many different paths that lead to one being homeless.
Right.
And thankfully, San Antonio is one of the best cities where there is such a force that wants to not only eradicate it, but to give an education and to help to alleviate that pattern in somebody's life. Yeah.
Unbelievable stuff. And I'm so touched that you would share something like that, so terrible with the audience and everything. But I think you're right. I mean, maybe there is something positive can come out of that. You were talking about just kind of your outfit that you're wearing today, and I think people can see Grateful Heart on your shirt there, but you were kind of talking about how you try to live that every day when you wake up. Absolutely.
I think that we have all kinds of things that, especially in this day and age where social media is often bastardized, I think it connects people. I think it's a tool, just like a hammer, right? A hammer can hammer a nail or hit somebody in the head that you don't like.
That's true.
I didn't say that out loud.
That is true, though.
But it can be used for either or. And I think that when we remember what we want to share, where is that place from? And for me, we've learned to sort of almost sensationalize what is hard or how we suffer, instead of taking the suffering and wondering about how we can learn from these patterns. I'm all about patterns in my life. And then how do we shift and change those things?
You're so right, though, about social media. And I mean, you and I didn't necessarily grow up with it in the way that our children are, or at least my children. And so it's a constant battle and everything. And like you said, like, I'd like to think this show is doing some positive things, but social media can also be terrible.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely.
But you have also been a well-being coach, and I know I'm probably not getting the title correct, but you have so many great phrases and sayings, and I know you're well read, and you've done a lot of research over the years, and people come to you for maybe inspiration or pick me up or whatever that looks like. How did all that come about?
You know, I think just in wanting to inspire others, and I've been doing this online, my goodness, I feel like my whole life since I was a kid. I would gather the children on the playground and say, we don't have to listen to the bullies. Like, you can lead your own life. I don't know, but I really was like 8 doing
Wait, this is in elementary school you were doing this?
Yeah, for sure. It's so funny. When I look back over, and everybody that I know from that era says, you've always been this person. And so is it innate? I don't know. But I know that one of the things that I share is that we can either learn from the intuitiveness, right, which is the patterns of our lives, or we learn by insight.
Yeah.
And when we're willing to have somebody hold up the mirror to us to see, like, ooh, that, you don't like what you see, but that's the only way we change.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Just because you are looking at something doesn't mean that you're seeing it with clarity.
Amen to that. Okay, so some people may be joining us a few minutes late here. This is Nora Sophia, who author, I guess, health and well-being coach, among many, many other things. And now your current title is the Director of Memberships.
Director of Membership Development.
Always
developing people.
I think she's developing me right now. For the Center Club of San Antonio, and it's Center, like CENTRE.
Yes.
And some people are coming on. Now, if you have a comment, by the way, I know you have a billion friends. So if anybody's on here right now and you want to say hello to Nora, any of your 500 million friends, you can come on here. But So the Center Club is something that I've read about. It's coming very soon. Yes. And you were tasked or tapped to handle the membership development and get this thing off the ground. Absolutely.
So exciting times. I mean, it's on the 30th floor of the Westin Center. There is no bad view in the house. But, it is membership development. So it isn't about just coming up to the space and having a lovely craft cocktail or a 5-star meal, although you can. It's about coming up and being a part of the synergy that will be in this space to collaborate, to create, to just move the needle forward with San Antonio at large. And so I'm excited.
So it was the Plaza Club, right? Once upon a time. So you kind of explained what the Center Club is going to be. What would you like our viewers to know about what the Center Club is not?
So it is not a place for negativity. I'm just kidding. Right? We're going to have a door. I'm just teasing.
You're going to have a jar with you drop a quarter in every time you're negative.
That's right. All right. Tips for everybody.
Okay.
No, it is not simply a place to gather, although it will be. It is going to be the most exclusive, lovely, elevated dining for sure. But it will be mostly for those that want to, like I said, move the needle forward. We're doing and seeing so much with the revitalization of downtown. And as a native, we're so proud of that. So it's going to be for those that want to be a part of those that are really executing the process of this heartbeat being resuscitated.
Right.
For the people that can come up there and see this amazing view and wonder how to be a part of the solutions for the city.
Well, I should mention we are, about 7 stories high right now. And I tell you, the Center Club is 30 floors up. But, I mean, I'm not going to lie. You look out at the skyline or you see that view, and probably have been inspired a time or two before.
Absolutely.
But I think your idea too, correct me if I'm wrong, is it's a safe place to come.
Yes.
It's not like a highfalutin, holier than thou group. It's kind of what you said, a place to be creative.
Yes.
Have nice cocktails and a great meal.
Yes.
But all coming from a good place.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the safe place comes from if you are, with the definition of VIP or something like this, and you're concerned about, am I going to be photographed? Am I going to be? We aren't going to have all of that.
No paparazzi allowed.
That's right.
That's right. Because I can't do paparazzi. No, I'm kidding. But so that's coming. What the timeline on that? I mean, they're probably working on it as we speak.
We speak, and it's being led by Turner Construction. Shout out to them because they are fabulous. And Liz and Carlos up there, my goodness, they're working around the clock. And we are going to be having a party with Fiesta. So, yay!
That's I need to be at that party. So, by the way, that website, if you're interested in learning more about what Nora has just said, or would consider a membership, or just want to find out more, or look at the pretty pictures or whatever, that's mycenterclub.com, and it's center spelled Centre.
Correct.
Pronounced center, though.
Pronounced center.
It's like centre.
Yes. Oh, I like that.
mycenterclub.com.
Yes.
Nora, this is Andrea.
Hi, Andrea.
She says, hi, Nora. It's Andrea.
Oh, I love Andrea.
Okay. I told you, she has a lot of friends.
Yes,
she has a lot of
Andrea's
friends.
a member,
Yeah.
and she's amazing.
Oh, very cool. So you're still actively taking memberships
Absolutely.
if people want to sign up?
Absolutely.
Is there like an age risk, like kids are not going to be running around the room, are they?
We are kid friendly.
Okay, good to know.
But you know what? Claim your children. Like, don't let them who's you belong to.
It's not a daycare, is what you're saying.
Right. No.
Nora will not be watching your kids
right.
or changing diapers
daycare.
or spoon feeding anybody. Okay, I want to make sure we're on the same page here.
That's right.
Because you're very nice and you might say yes, but people will take advantage of that.
Nope.
Okay, so we got the Center Club. I know we talked about, and I meant to bring a tennis ball and I forgot. But tennis is a very big, not to go on another tangent, but that's like another massive part of your life.
Past. Yeah, my whole life. And it's interesting because the person who taught us, I learned on the east side of San Antonio at Fairchild Tennis Center with Al Theodore, who's no longer with us. But Al was this person, larger than life. And my brother and I were the only Hispanic people there. We were the only ones who ventured that way, in that time where it was like, oh no, everybody, you're over here and you're over here, right? But we were like, no, this is what we want to do. And Al had a great program, and he was one of those people that said, you want to play tennis? And I was like, yes, tell me the parts of the racket. And I was like, what are you talking about? So he was big into the fundamentals. And one of the life lessons that I still remember is you don't have shortcuts to success.
Right.
Everything is about putting in the time and believing in the process. And to this day, I still do that.
So you were telling me, and I want to make sure I have the timeline right. So you were at South San, going to high school, terrible assault happened to you, everything. You're homeless.
Yes.
Teenage girl on the south side of San Antonio. Tennis is in there somewhere, and then you ultimately ended up at UIW, the University of Incarnate Word. But the way that happened was amazing to me.
Yes. Well, nobody would know who I was, right? Because I wasn't going to compete in tournaments and things like this. So the day after my graduation, I took the city bus on the Via bus down to Incarnate Word. I met with the coach, and I said, I need a bed. I need to know who I have to beat to have some sort of a scholarship, and he did. And I ended up attending my summer there, and that was my first semester of school. But, with anything in life, Ernie, you have to be willing to fight for it. And you realize that whether it's in tennis or in business or whatever it is, there's so much more on the line than you think there is.
But I'm just trying to envision the presence of mind that you literally walk the stage, cap and gown, you get in a bus, you're thinking UIW. It's obviously a private school that costs a lot of money. You had gone through all this stuff. I'm guessing you didn't have massive piles of money with you. Okay, so how did you convince them to let you enroll, or it was the tennis, right? That
it was the tennis and academics, because I maintained a 4.0 GPA even when I was on the street.
How did you? I just can't believe that.
Because you have to. I mean, you just have to. You have to. You have to figure it out. And I mean, I don't know. Looking back, it's really crazy. I think when I hear somebody else tell the story, it's like, that is That's wild. I mean, I think that if it were happening to you, Ernie, I
Right.
would be like, I want to help you. But yeah.
And I don't mean to sound morbid, but just I'm having a visual here of that time of your life. Was there ever a time where you thought, this is just not going to it's just not going to happen? Like it's not going to work, or something terrible is going to happen to you on the streets, or whatever that looked like?
Sure. And absolutely. And I mean, yes. And there's life-threatening things that you face when you're going through that. I mean, honestly, I felt bad if my parents ever knew that happened to me, because the reason that you end up in situations like this are because you don't understand what you don't understand, and you're assuming things. And I know that as I look back in retrospect, honestly, had I gone to my parents maybe in a different frame of mind, maybe if there were other people that could have helped us through it, then I wouldn't have had to be there. And you think about all these things when you have so much time. But even, to be quite honest, even today, I think that it's why I do the work I do with people one-on-one, is because it's very hard to overcome so many of these triggers in our mind if we're not aware of them.
So you mentioned the one-on-one. So you still meet with people, or
Yeah.
you have sessions with them, I guess, if you will. I mean, what is kind of the overarching theme of your approach to when people come to you for help? I'm guessing people come to you with terrible stories, or they're in a rough place. And I think you told me the other day too, like you see that as a challenge, and you embrace those kinds of things.
I do. I think that, and that's why I brought this, if I could show it.
Absolutely.
So this is a lotus flower, right? And lotus flowers only grow in mud. They only grow and bloom beautifully with obstacles. And that is what I feel like we need to realize in humanity, is that we're going to have good and bad. Everything belongs, though. So what do we learn from it? If this is, for example, dealing with somebody who is at a bad picker, as I say, right? I've had bad relationship over and over. No, you haven't. You've had one 5 times. And then once you start learning the patterns, then we move from that intuitiveness that we've learned to insight as to why. And so it's taking people beyond it. And there is nothing better than suddenly seeing somebody's life change because they're learning from the life experiences they've had, rather than just allowing their life experience to define them. We don't allow life to run us. We tell life how it's going to go.
I'm telling you. Well, I was going to say you should write a book, but you've already done that.
I did.
So Tapestry is the new book, right?
Yes.
But you've written how many books now?
That's my second one.
Oh,
Tapestry's the second one, and then I have Ellipsis coming out, hopefully in a year.
Well, that's 2 more than I've written, Nora. So, and Tapestry, how would you describe that book to people who, I'm assuming we can find it soon wherever we buy books, but how would you describe what that is?
Tapestry is the amalgamation of my 51 years on this little blue dot walking around. And every chapter is a question. It's not speaking at people. I hate speaking at people. And every chapter ends with 5 questions. So you can ask yourself, does it really matter? For example, is one of the title headings. Will you be an eagle or a burro? That's another one. That's my father's wisdom.
Like a burro? Like a donkey?
Yes.
Will you be an eagle or a donkey? Or a burro? Okay, I got it.
Yes. So it's fabulous. I end the book with a letter to my inner child, and I encourage, when you read the book, that you do the same. Because all of us within us, when we're feeling some sense of anxiety or fear or even anger, it's really perhaps that young version of us that was always looking for comfort or safety or love. And we get the opportunity to give that back to ourselves.
How often do you think of the teenage Nora, and if you could go back and talk to her, what would you tell her?
Man, I think of her every day. I think of her, especially when I'm out walking around in downtown San Antonio. I think of her when I have a big presentation and I get a little knock-kneed and scared to do it. I think that the words that I would have is go back to, just like Al taught me on the tennis court, go back to your fundamentals, go back to what you know. And for me, that basis, if there is one through line for my life, it's relationship and the belief that I've always had in humanity, even when humanity presents in such a horrible way, to wonder why that person is presenting that way. Give people the benefit of the doubt and go beyond what you see.
How's your tennis game right now?
You know what? I'm ready.
I don't have a racket.
I'm ready.
I don't have a racket. I will tell you, when I was younger, I used to go practice. I didn't play. I practice on the tennis court. That's one of the craziest, best workouts I've ever had.
It really is. It's an individual sport unless you're playing doubles. But even then, you're thinking as a team.
Yeah.
And it's one of the few sports where you get somebody on the sidelines constantly coaching you.
That's
so
true.
it transcends life. You play the ball, you don't play the person. And that's true in life, too. And my son is still coaching up in Austin, and I was so proud of him to watch him do that. It's fun.
Do you play pickleball?
You know what? I would love to play on a team that wants to win. Don't ask me if you just want to go have fun.
Uh-oh.
Because I love pickleball. And you know what? If you've played tennis, ooh. I was just watching Johnny Mac play last night in Agassiz. It's so much
Pickleball,
fun.
right.
Yeah.
They have their own, Steffi Graf, right? They have their own league or their own teams and everything.
Yes, it's awesome.
Oh, my goodness gracious. All right, so what else do you have going on? Because you're very busy with the Center Club, the books coming out, just the coaching, the 500 million friends you have.
Yes,
what else do you want to do? I mean, we're a month into the year. What do you want to do?
You know what? That's so scary when you say it like that. I really want to live. I want to live every day. I want to remember what that means. I want to never take a breath for granted. And I really want to be part of, like, Centro San Antonio. Shout out to Trish DeBerry and her crew.
Yes.
I call her lightning in a human being because that woman speaks things into existence, and she's so on fire about it. We have so many great people in this city. And because of my work with the club, I get to meet so many of them. I just had lunch with Norma Denham's boys. Norma's very involved here. Her boys are twins at 22 years old. They're incredible. So I feel like I'm doing pickup lines without the camera.
Well, that's true. That's true. You do pickup lines all the time.
I do.
Bernard's asking about a USTA rating. Is that?
Gosh, I was at 4.5 in my heyday. So now I would be. I mean, if I needed to sandbag, I think I could maybe pass for a 3.5.
Oh my goodness gracious! We're headed to the Wimbledon here pretty soon, I think. At this rate,
They're gonna check if she just play left-handed. I don't know.
Are you a lefty?
You know what? We used to teach our kids. We used to teach them to play ambidextrous because a backhand is only a left-handed forehand.
Yeah.
And then when I play golf, I play left-handed.
And of course she plays golf. Of course you play golf. Oh my God! Did you play sports in high school?
Tennis.
Well, I mean, other than tennis, you did anything?
No, I was a one-sport wonder because I don't know if it's. I mean, maybe now that I look back, I would have wanted to do other things, but no, just tennis.
Okay, Bernard says he loves the competitiveness.
Yay!
You're now if and when you ever
Yes.
come in second place and you don't win and you lose, are you what kind of a
I don't
loser?
like it. No, I don't like. You know why? because when you do something, you have to bring excellence. You have to bring excellence. And so if it's not about winning and losing, but it's about showing up in your very best. And one of the other things is we have to learn to play with people that we know are going to kick our tail, right? Because just wipe you up on the court. Because you still get to learn from that experience. And then we play somebody that's our level, and then we always reach back, right? And so then we go out like I would go on the court with you. You're not as adept.
No, I am not. No, I am not.
It would be fun. But we're constantly learning either way, forwards or backwards, but always moving forward.
It's that's like the motto for life.
Yes.
I feel like, yes.
Always forward.
Okay.
Always forward.
That's pretty remarkable stuff. And we could go on for another half hour, but you probably have memberships to talk about and other things to do. And
I'm so grateful, Ernie, and I know. But this is the one thing that I hope is the theme. If people think of Nora Sophia, it's gratitude and wanting to inspire those around me to, as I said in the beginning, remember their magic when they've forgotten, because we all have those moments. We do. And life is ... That's my next book, Ellipsis.
Yeah.
But it is, and so it's can we rise to the occasion every time, which is another whole story. Because I've told you, I had a near-death experience in the river. I have gone through 2 emergency surgeries with my son. I rehabilitated my ex-husband who fell 25 feet onto concrete. Yes, I have a full life, but You rise to the occasion.
And you said there was an incident with the near-death experience. Was it that you held your breath? You were underwater for...
Well, I didn't hold my breath. I don't know
That's
what
right.
happened.
You didn't hold your breath, but you were underwater for a long time.
7.5 minutes. I was underwater in the Guadalupe River. Of course, I mean, if you're going to go down in the Guadalupe River in Texas. I feel like remember the Alamo.
So, scientifically speaking, you should not have lived. You should not have survived, or much less be sitting upright talking to me right now.
No. But that's why. You know, I mean, there's so many, like, that's why. And I'll never forget people going, you're like a Highlander. Like, my God, how many lives have you lived? Because when I rehabilitated and helped do that with my ex-husband who fell,
right.
You know, the doctors are like, he's not going to make it. Well, he did, and he's still thriving, and my son has his father, thank God. So many instances. Don't ever count yourself out. I mean, look at me. I'm like a freaking cat.
Seriously. If I drop Nora, she'll land on her.
That's right. Everyone says that. I will land on my feet.
No, but you told me, too, like, your ex-husband was in the hospital room, and the doctors gave him little to no chance, and you literally had a pep talk with him and said...
I yelled at him.
You yelled at your ex, and you said, Vámonos.
That's right. I said, you are not doing this to me. You're not doing this to your son. You're going to make it, and you're going to thrive. And I went to the restroom, and I came back in, and he sat up when the doctor said there's no way. And so there have been there's so many miracles in our lives. And I think that sometimes we want to accept status quo. There is no status quo. No. There's only going forward and higher. And that's how we all should live and remember. And if you need to remember that, then you message me. Because I'll tell you.
Oh my gosh. But this is the thing about this show that, again, having been in the media market for so long, is I didn't realize there are people like Nora with these amazing stories that you've been here all this time.
Yes.
And I know you've written books and stuff like that, but this show is essentially made for people like you, because I want people to know that you and people like you are in this community doing amazing things, and are great examples for other people who are having a rough time, had trauma in their lives, maybe were homeless or whatever the case may be. I know those are some extremes, but everybody has down days or loses in life at one time or the other.
Yes. But it's about, I watched an interview with David Robinson on YouTube the other day, and I forget the guy. I think it was, his last name is Buck, so somebody's going to remember that.
Okay.
But he was showing him like the last game when David, they won the championship, and he was going to either go out, not winning that, or he won it. And he's showing it, and he's like, man, and he's like, David, what do you think when you see that? And David was like, it was a great day. And he said, but you don't even get emotional. And he said, well, today's a great day. Like, today's a great day. And that is what happened to me, but that's not who I am today. And I have to remember to celebrate that. And I think what powerful advice and wisdom, because you know what? We are not our past. We stand and we honor the past. We stand in our present to shape our future. That's who we are.
I love it. And the Lotus...
Yes,
again, I'll give you that.
I was the secret
I was going to say the Lotus and the Lotus again.
Jazz hands.
We can be lotuses or lodi or whatever the plural of lotus
I don't know
is.
what that is.
But
Lodi.
I listen. Like I said, I could go on and on and on, and maybe we'll just have to do another episode, or an episode at the Center Club when it opens up and everything. But I think this is just so inspiring. I wanted when we met the other day, I wanted to immediately have you on the show, because I said people need to hear about you. Need to know that you're here to talk or to whatever, and I know people are already saying they're going to look for your book here. So one more time, it's Tapestry, coming out very soon, wherever you buy books. NoraSophia.com is the website, or My Center Club, CENTRE, MyCenterClub.com. I suspect this is not the last time you and I will collaborate on something, I hope. No. But I'm really appreciative of you and your story and joining me today.
Thank you. And I want to, all of us, I know, again with the jazz hands, say thank you to Ernie, because without your voice and without you putting all of this together and all the things, we wouldn't have the opportunity to share with the world. And so thank you for being an instrument of amplifying such inspiring and amazing people and their stories. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
I'm going to try. I'm going to find them. There are other Nora Sophias out there, and I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay.
Appreciate it.
There she is, Nora Sophia. Goodness gracious. A lot there, but very inspiring and uplifting to say the least. This has been another episode of Pickup Lines presented by Gamez Law Firm and Integrity Roofing and Siding. We'll be back, I think, on Wednesday with another episode right here. So thanks for watching. We'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.